By now, Unreal Engine 5 has been out for 2 years to developers, and yet it feels as if nothing has changed yet. A lot of games are still the same as they were before, despite promised changes. Hello and welcome, fellow virgins. It is iSuperVirgin here, and today I'd like to ask the question: where is Unreal Engine 5? Originally, the reveal of Unreal Engine 5 was back in 2020, so 4 years ago by now, showing off a lot of new features, but the most special one being Nanite, which was an engine that pretty much just allowed extremely detailed photographic source material to be added to a video game. So let's look at, for instance, movie CGI that was able to be added into video games. Now, the main difference between Unreal Engine 4 and Unreal Engine 5 was that they tried to make it as easy for developers to create detailed gaming worlds without the need to spend long amounts of time creating said worlds. Also with Nanite, it was then promised that these would require way less to work. These assets would work without requiring more power, which meant that lower end PCs or mid-end PCs or whatever, just not as good hardware, would be able to run these video games. Now, another part of Unreal Engine 5 was, of course, Lumen, which was basically something that allowed real-time behavior of light sources. So instead of having to create a sort of light map in a scene, it just meant you alter your scene, the light just changes automatically. So that meant a lot less work that you had to put in as a developer. Like I said, they tried to make it easier for developers. Then we also have some additional ones. This is a bit more technical, but we have Niagara for fluid and particle dynamics, you know, water and what particles you get from, I don't know, a gunshot or whatever. If you're making a space game, you have a lot of different cases where you could use particles. And then you also have Chaos, which is something for a physics engine. Now, it wasn't long after the reveal that we got to see what Unreal Engine 5 could do, because on December 4th of 2022, Fortnite released Season 4, and with that, the update to Unreal Engine 5. But let's be honest here, not much has changed with Fortnite. Of course, it does look a lot better. I'm not really convinced that that was a huge change compared to what I think a lot of people expected, including me. Another experience we got to see, which was really, really cool, was The Matrix Awakens, which was a short experience that is ahead of the release of a game called The Matrix Resurrections. I don't know when that is actually going to be released, but definitely something really, really cool, which is where they also showed off their MetaHuman creator, which is something they made in order to, you know, create playable characters or create AI or create NPCs. And just a really cool tool that developers can use. But after this, honestly, it has been fairly quiet. We're about a year and a half since then, and personally, I don't feel like there's been like a giant shift in graphics of the gaming since then, except for one game that actually released, I think, what was it, a week ago? Yeah, I think exactly a week ago from when I'm recording this video, which is Hellblade 2. Now, Hellblade 2 has not done too well. Yeah, I'll talk about that in another video next week, but Hellblade 2 has not done too well. But if there's one thing we can say about that game, it is that it looks absolutely gorgeous. So it feels like we do finally have some Unreal Engine game that actually really works well with Unreal Engine 5. It's weird, but it looks really good. This is, of course, a bit of an unrealistic thing I'm asking here from developers. I know that Unreal Engine 5 hasn't been out for long, and a lot of games that are, you know, coming out in these last 2 years have been made before they had access to Unreal Engine 5. You know, a lot of games are in development for a long, long time. But believe it or not, quite a few games over the last few years have been made in Unreal 5. First example is, of course, like I said, the upgrade Fortnite did. The other games that have released with this, they're not really known for both good graphics and good performance. Let's take a look at, for instance, Hogwarts Legacy. Now, Hogwarts Legacy is a good looking game and it worked pretty well on most PCs, but let's not forget that if you had a bit of a lower end PC, you were looking at PlayStation 1 characters. Like, we were going back in time to older Harry Potter games, or they just had to, you know, suffer really shitty performance, which is insane when you look at how this is supposed to be changed. Now, I also understand that nowadays a lot of these companies expect you to just have an SSD, so if you put your game on a hard drive, and you know that hard drive is of course a lot slower, yeah, you're gonna run into more issues of characters looking bad because, you know, worse textures get loaded in first, and then the actual good, fully quality textures get loaded afterwards. Faster drive, faster loading of textures. It's a bit logical in that way, but still be weird that, you know, you wouldn't just block off the load until it's been loaded properly. But still, as I said, very few games use Unreal Engine 5, and those who do come nowhere near the Matrix Awakens experience. That's probably what a lot of people have been expecting from this engine. We expect more Hellblades, we expect more Matrix Resurrections, we expect a lot more games that look photorealistic, since that is what has been promised. The showcase back in 2022 showed us a game that looked absolutely amazing, or wasn't really a game, but you understand what I'm trying to say. It showed us an upgrade of an engine that would change the world. And since then, not much has changed. It's been 4 years. I expect we see more of this in the coming years. Probably somewhere in the coming 5 years, we'll see a lot more games coming out that look way better. Like I said, also very excited for the Matrix game, which I hope will both run well and look as good as the previous game we got to play, or this experience we got to enjoy. It's important to notice that not every game that is made in Unreal Engine 5 is made optimally for it. That is also a big factor of it. Let's take a look at, for instance, Grayzone Warfare. It is made in Unreal Engine 5. It runs like absolute trash. Or I play something like a Play-Doh game. They're indie developers. They have to do some extra work. They don't always know how everything works, and you know, they don't have the same funding that bigger companies have. I'm not putting the blame on the developers of Grayzone Warfare, but they clearly haven't optimized the game properly, because otherwise that game should run super smooth on my PC. I have a mid-tier, higher mid-tier PC, so I don't think that I'm the problem in this case. If I can't run a game, most of the times it's just bad performance, honestly. But of course, another exciting video game that is going to be coming out in the next couple of years is The Witcher Remake, which is also being made in Unreal Engine 5. So they're stepping away from their Red engine. CD Projekt Red is stepping away from that and going over to Unreal 5. Now, this game wasn't long in development, I think, before they actually started making Unreal 5. I think it was not long after Cyberpunk was released, which was in December of 2022. So I think they were about a year in development before they could switch to Unreal Engine 5. So I hope that this game is made well this time. I'm looking at you, CD Projekt Red. I hope you do it well this time, because holy fucking shit, I don't want a Cyberpunk 3077. But what do you think? Do you think that Unreal Engine 5 is right around the corner to just blow us away? We'll have lots of games that look absolutely amazing and play well, or do you think that it will still take a couple of years before we actually have some honestly good looking and performing games with Unreal Engine 5? And honestly, by then, will it still be as special as it was when they first revealed it in 2020? Because by then, other companies will have released other cool stuff. I'm looking at, for instance, next year's GTA 6. I think that's going to look absolutely amazing while also running really good. So, I mean, I'm just saying, let's look at this. This might actually not be that special in a couple of years. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. And while you're down there, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help for a smaller channel. Thank you very much. As always, I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.